the AC compressor overnight decided to seize. There's lightning coming from both directions. I've checked the weather radar. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm right in the middle of a huge storm. I noticed quite the strong smell of coolant. So I thought, this is a switch. You turn that, and you got a fan.
Just finished a delicious pulled pork sandwich. Excellent sandwich.
Welcome to 4 a.m. overlooking the Bonneville Salt Flats. And it is at this point that I am leaving. Cruising along through Nevada now, and I noticed the temps are starting to rise a little bit even with the fan on, but I think I figured it out. There's a bunch of salt in the radiator. I'm gonna grab a jug of water and then splash it all over, and hopefully that helps. I'm about half hour south of Twin Falls, Idaho. Coolant's really creeping up. It was at 222 before I turned it off this time, so I'm gonna have to get a little bit more creative. I have sprayed the heck out of the radiator with a spray bottle to remove some of the salt. Hopefully that gives me enough airflow where I don't overheat too bad. There is a self-serve car wash just down the road, about half an hour in Twin Falls, so I'm gonna try and make it there and then spray it much more thoroughly. In the time it took to get from just down there to right here, it went from 130 up to 216. So I think it may have finally bit the dust. The head gasket might be gone. Taking the hood off's worth a shot, right? Hood is off, but unfortunately it does appear that the head gasket is blown. It seems like it's pressurizing the cooling system and all the water is leaving, but the plus side of that is I think with enough water I can actually get somewhere. So I'm gonna go back down the street, get some more water, and see if I can at least make it within tow truck range of my house. Alright, restocked on water. Now I'm hoping this makes it to Twin Falls. I'm gonna still go to that car wash and spray the heck out of the radiator. So far, so good. Coolant temps are staying at about 190 to 194, which is really good. Probably a combination of having water in the engine and also the hood being inside of the van. And it should be noted that I'm getting my coolant temperatures based on an OBD2 reader that I have, not actually the coolant temp gauge, so they are accurate, I think. So at that car wash in Twin Falls, I was able to spray off a good chunk of the salt that is clung to this thing, and I topped up the radiator and filled up all of my water jugs. I am now about half an hour down the highway heading west, and it started to creep up a little bit in temperature, so I'm going to let it cool down and we'll top it up again. About 45 minutes into Oregon. This thing has been cruising pretty well. I've done a few stops to fill up the radiator, and I'm about to check it again using my patented radiator stick. This is in an effort to not scald my face with hot coolant. So I think somehow the $100 Sienna has magically fixed itself, because it just took about 2 cups of water there. Oh, it's still really hot. I'm about 6 hours of constant driving from home, so I should be able to make it today. But I did only sleep from 11:30 to 2 a.m. last night, so I don't want to overdo it and fall asleep and then cause a wreck. But I'm hoping to make it all in one day. Well, I may have spoken a little too soon about the whole magically fixing itself thing. About 35 minutes farther down the road, and the temperature is getting pretty sporadic, and all of the coolant in the reservoir is gone. Well, it didn't take much water this time, but I'm gonna bleed the system and hopefully that's it. Well, that's the first time that it's overheated in idle. That's not good. After a quick consultation with Google Maps, I am just 350 miles from home, which means if I can make it 150 more miles down that road, then I can just pull up my phone, go to the AAA app, and get the car towed home for free. Or I might just send it to the nearest junkyard. I'll see how I feel. Fingers crossed. So far so good, the temps are holding, but that's a big old hill coming up. Made it over the hill, the temps did creep up a little bit, but they're starting to come back down, so that is good. Just like that, I am 200 miles from home. if I break down now, the tow home is free. And this comes at a good time too, because I'm having to take it real slow on the hills. It really wants to get hot, but I'm gonna see if I can get it all the way home. And probably another reason why it's getting so hot is because it is really hot outside, which would be a great time to have AC, but I don't. One more stop alongside the highway. I'm just east of Yakima, Washington. This time it didn't seem to use any water. It still had about all the water that I put in it earlier. It's still trying to run really hot anytime we go anywhere near the throttle. Just gonna have to take it real easy. Home stretch. Cruising up a really long grade here just north of Yakima. I've got the heater on full blast, radiator fan on, just to keep the temps down, and I'm going 40 miles an hour. It is so hot in here. Like that, the $100 Toyota Sienna has transported me and a bunch of my junk from Western Washington to Utah and back with countless breakdowns, a lot of water burned, but it was fun. It was really fun.